We're approaching November. What's downstate Illinois' role in your success going into that November election?
Well, listen, I'm running for re-election, and I'm proud of the track record that we've had in the 18th district, representing 19 counties. The work we've done on the economy, we have the lowest unemployment we've had in 25 years. We have a record amount of jobs in this country right now. We have 7.1 million unfilled jobs, stock market that's at record levels. There's a healthiness in the economy, and when I look at what we did on tax reform, the average family of four living in Quincy or Adams County making $70,000 a year is going to get back under the tax bill that passed about $2,100 a year. That's real money. Some people describe that as crumbs. That's real money. That's money to buy a new washer and dryer. That's money to go on vacation, money to pay off a credit card. And so the tax bill's working. In businesses, whether you're a Main Street business here in Quincy, whether you're a medium operation, whether you're a large company like Dot Foods or Knapheide, you're seeing the results in the economy. More hiring, higher wages, reinvestment in the community. So the tax cuts are working. And then you look at the regulatory environment. Whether you're a farmer, whether you're in manufacturing, whether you're in trucking, whether you're in financial services, a regulatory environment that says, how do we let the private sector flourish? How do we get the economy going? That's where you're going to grow this economy. And we've seen a real emphasis in a Republican Congress and also with the Trump administration. I've been proud to be a part of that. And so look forward to, again, talking about that going into this election to keep the economy going.
It's not that you're an incumbent, but you're by no means comfortable in that position.
Yeah, well, I've been fortunate enough to be in this job for about 3 years. This will be my 6th election in 3 years, and we're proud that the voters have re-elected us to go back to Washington, D.C. And I will just tell you this, I come back every single weekend to the district. I'm in Quincy often. We've put a real focus on constituent service, but also voting the right way in Washington, D.C., representing the values of Central and West Central Illinois. We just had a town hall meeting here in Quincy in the month of August and open to the public. And I think being transparent and being open and being attentive to folks is important. But I also think standing up for those things that are important. Private sector growth, more jobs, more opportunities, looking at how we improve infrastructure. Those have been a big focus of mine. Agriculture, I have a large ag district, and supporting the Farm Bill, which we have to get passed, working on more markets around the world on the trade and tariff issues. I recently got appointed to the Ways and Means Committee in the House of Representatives by my colleagues, and to have a seat at the table at the Ways and Means Committee to advocate for manufacturers, for farmers, for folks in transportation, for all sectors. I look forward to, if I'm fortunate enough to get elected, to continuing to advocate and work on behalf of people in my district.
You mentioned you have a large ag community that you serve, and of course tariffs in the news quite a bit now. Can you talk about what role ag plays going into this November election, and maybe the challenges or maybe the not challenges that farmers are feeling because of these quote-unquote Trump tariffs?
Well, listen, I'm not a fan of tariffs. Tariffs are taxes, and so they're taxes on consumers. But tariffs can be used as a mechanism to change behavior. Chinese have been ripping us off for 25 years, and no president from Clinton to Bush to Obama has been able to do anything about it. And President Trump is doing something about it. He's trying to hold the Chinese accountable, and that in the long term will be better for us. It will be better for our farmers, our manufacturers, for all of America. And so I don't want to be in a trade war a year from now or 2 years from now. That's not good for our soybeans and our corn and our manufacturing. But if we can force the Chinese to come to the table through tariffs, I think in the end that'll be better for us. But always in a trade war, it's a chess game, and food and agriculture is the pawn, and we're seeing that right now. But when I talk to farmers, they're willing to give the president a little flexibility, a little cushion to hold the Chinese accountable. And I would also say the president's done an excellent job. We just redid NAFTA, or now what's called the USMCA, largest trade agreement we've ever negotiated. About a third of the products grown or produced in Illinois go to either Canada or Mexico. We now have a new deal, which is great. 98% of the corn that Mexico imports comes from the United States, much of it from the Midwest. So that shows the world we can have a free trade agreement with Mexico and Canada. Now we have to partner with our allies to force the Chinese to change their behavior.
And can I ask you about that on the national scale? dropping down a day, a new agreement, or trying to work towards a new agreement with Europe. Can you break down that new information that we now have?
Yeah, the president met with the president of the European Union in July. They came out of that meeting with a verbal agreement. It was just announced yesterday and this morning that they're putting pen to paper now. We're going to have an agreement that's going to help our farmers with the European Union. They also announced an agreement with the Japanese and an agreement with the UK. So that's positive, again, for our growers and our farmers and for the agriculture community here in the United States. We have to have markets, we have to have customers, and the more we can bring down barriers, particularly with the European Union, the better. And so we are making a lot of progress. And again, you look at the economy, we're going to be on 4% growth here. We need the ag economy to come up, and trade agreements help with that. We have to remember, we're only 4.5% of the world's population in America. Nobody produces soybeans and corn in a more efficient or effective way to do that. And our product is the best anywhere in the world, but we have to have markets to do that. And I think this announcement today with the European Union and Japan and the UK is positive.
Is there, when you think about the campaign and the election coming up in November, is there a topic that isn't being discussed enough, either on your part or your competitor, Junius Rodriguez? Is there something that we're not talking about enough that we should be aware of?
Well, listen, I think we have a number of challenges. I like the way the economy is headed right now with all the positiveness, but we haven't done anything on infrastructure. I think we have to pass infrastructure. Infrastructure is vitally important to Quincy, to Adams County, and the rest of my district. Good roads, good bridges, fixing up our locks and dams on the Illinois and the Mississippi River. So I think infrastructure is a big issue that we have to do something about. And if I'm fortunate enough to get elected, I look forward to working in a bipartisan way to get a good infrastructure bill done. I think workforce development, one of the #1 issues I hear as I travel around is we don't have enough skilled labor. We don't have enough welders. We don't have enough truck drivers. We don't have enough nurses. We don't have enough teachers, enough technicians. We have to invest, and we can do this at the federal level, invest money in our community colleges, whether it's John Wood or the other ones, invest in our high schools, our trade schools, our apprenticeships. That's a bipartisan issue. I think the federal government plays a role in that. If we want this economy to keep humming along, we got to invest in our young people. And not every kid in high school is going to go to a 4-year university. We have to, again, promote trade schools and community colleges and get people into these, what I call head of household jobs. But if they don't have the skills, our economy is going to lag behind, and I look forward to playing a role, again, if I'm fortunate enough to get reelected.
Darin, thank you so much. Is there anything I haven't asked you or you haven't said that you want to throw out there?
Nope. I would just say that you look at today, it was just announced that America has the most competitive economy in the world. First time in 12 years that we've regained that. There's a lot of optimism right now in this country in terms of our economy, and I look forward to continuing to move that forward and continue to grow the economy.